let me wish everybody a very happy Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, and I believe Chaitra Navratri has also started. So even for that, and I extend my warm welcome to the three brand ambassadors of IMT Hyderabad who are joining me in this session. So what we will do in this session is for the first 30-35 minutes, we will have an informal interaction with three of you, and then we will open up for question and answers. If there are any questions which the students who are joining the session can post in the chat, and then we will start directing those questions randomly. So I'll be the one who will be directing those questions and then taking it forward. We are going to keep it absolutely informal. Nothing formal about this session, and the intention is that students get to hear a lot from you guys about your campus life, what you did after campus and things like that. Okay, so let me introduce you all to the audience or to the students who have joined the session. This is not in any order, so let's not attach any meaning to this. Probably I'll go with the girls first, or probably the women first. So guys, we have with us Sanjula Miglani. If Sanjula could just say a quick hello.
Hello, hi everyone.
So we have with us Sanjula Miglani. Sanjula is currently the head of marketing, B2B and Dine Out Passport. And before Dine Out, Sanjula has worked with Cast24 and Cash Karo. And more importantly, Sanjula was a student of 2014-16 batch at IMT Hyderabad. And at IMT Hyderabad, Sanjula was very active. If I'm not wrong, Sanjula was the member of the Media Relations Committee, probably a very active member of the Media Relations Committee. And by the way, Sanjula loves to tell stories because that is what she says. I'm a great storyteller, but she's an engineer. So this is a very interesting combination. An engineer who is a great storyteller. Welcome, Sanjula, to the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then I have with me, we have with us Ridhi Mundra. So Ridhi is the head D2C go-to-market UP and Uttarakhand for Bharti Airtel. She has been with Bharti Airtel for 5+ years. She started her career after passing from IMT Hyderabad campus as assistant manager business strategy with SBI Life. Ridhi was a student of 2013-15 batch. Ridhi was also a very active member of student committee of placements, if I'm not wrong, and a very important contributor to the marketing club, Marketers Mantra. आज भी नाम वही है, नाम बदला नहीं है. So and Ridhi is a commerce graduate from Delhi University. So welcome Ridhi to the session.
Thank you so much, sir.
And then we have Prakhar Maheshwari, a consultant, an insurance consultant who is currently working as a senior consultant at Infosys Consulting. And Prakhar started his career, he joined through campus, I think SBI Life. And at SBI Life, Prakhar was the assistant manager digital transformation. And interestingly, Prakhar did his internship with a very unique company called Reboot Systems India Private Limited. Prakhar, I think that internship was with Srividya madam, right?
Yes, Srividya.
And that particular internship also resulted into Srividya writing a case. The case got rated as the second best IV case, and Srividya was recognized for that particular contribution. So I'm sure that experience probably would have helped Prakhar in his career pursuits as he went ahead in his life. Welcome, Prakhar, to the session.
Thank you, sir.
Now, let me start by asking you all, by sharing your views as to what are your current roles and what do you do, and try to make it as simple as possible so that all of us can understand, because you guys are doing amazing things. So let me start with Prakhar. Prakhar, what do you do as an insurance consultant, senior consultant with Infosys Consulting? If you can just give us an idea about your work.
Sure, sir. So, as you know, I'm with Infosys, so it's into IT consulting, and my division is insurance. So, even in IT, you have different divisions: banking, insurance, manufacturing. So, as an insurance consultant, what I am supposed to do is from a functional side, I have to understand the different requirements which different insurers have across the world. So normally it is US based insurers with Infosys. So they come up with a particular problem statement that we have a very traditional old IT system. We need to modernize it. There are a lot of new products which are coming up. We want to include that in our ecosystem. So how can you help us? So as a functional consultant, I need to understand their processes. Like every market has a different insurance process. So I need to understand that. Then in the insurance process, there are different other sub processes, like you purchase, you underwrite the policy, you do the customer servicing part of it. So I need to understand those aspects and then try to map it with their future state, like what the client actually wants in the later stages of their timeline. So as a functional guy, I will understand these things through various stakeholders. So I need to connect with a lot of people in the client. And then because I also have a tech team with me, again, working on different technologies, I need to explain this thing to them that, okay, this is the ask, this is how do we map it. And if we say, for example, if it's a 14 weeks assignment, then this is how we project, how we move ahead. So more of a functional and a project management perspective. So briefly, this is what we do. So understanding the process and then helping it churn out into a technical deliverable. So that's what the understanding is.
Okay, let me add one more question, Prakhar. I mean, let me add a supplementary to this. So, Prakhar, when you started your career with SBI Life Insurance, did you foresee being at the position that you are?
So at that time, no, because we started in 2015, and that time this pace of technology was not quite as fast as how it happened in the last 3-4 years. So that time we thought that this goes in a very slow manner, or a very normal, decent manner. So I was not very aware that how this career will progress out in the future. But of course, in SBI Life, we got sufficient time to understand this industry, insurance, as well as this IT side of it. And
Okay.
when we got to know about what folks are doing in artificial intelligence, or maybe what other IT companies are doing, then of course we were able to understand that a lot of scope is there in this area.
Okay. And Prakhar, you are a PGDM student who specialized in marketing. Like, what was your program offered to you?
So PGTM marketing, yeah.
Achha, you had been offered PGDM marketing.
PGTM marketing.
And you specialize in marketing.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Riddhi, kindly share with us, what do you do as go-to-market strategy or as head D2C at Bharti Airtel?
So I look after primarily the broadband, postpaid, and the Airtel Black proposition that Airtel has. So these are the 3 product portfolios that I look after. So under the Gtm strategy, so my day-to-day work is in terms of deciding where all these services are selling, where are they not selling, what are the markets where we want to expand these services. Then what are other marketing communications that we want to put around? Do we want to do radio? Do we want to do outdoor advertisements? Do we want to do ATL, BTL? And also understanding how the sales people are working. So what are the people who are performing well for us, are getting more numbers for us? What are well they are doing? What others are not doing? So implementing that. So the whole idea is taking these 3 products into the market and then analyzing what's working for the company and what's not, and then obviously understanding the best practices which are happening across the company, and then trying and implementing that as well. So that's primarily my role.
Okay, so Riddhi, you're taking care of Uttarakhand and UP. So as part of the job, do you travel a lot? आपको travel ज़्यादा करना पड़ता है और आप उसको कैसे balance करते हो?
So right now, I've not traveled much. It's just been about 6 months that I've got into the new role. But because of Corona, right now, the company is not promoting traveling as of now. So whatever I have in and around UP is what I do. If I'm in Delhi, then I do around that area. Whatever I can do up and down in one day types. So right now, a night stay or something is not, which the company is also promoting. But another very good and a different aspect to that is with Zoom. So we do virtual visits through Zoom. So what happens is that if I want to see what the market is happening, say in Dehradun or in Banaras, so we have a sales rep over there. So we have a Zoom call with them. I talk to my retailers and everything via Zoom. So a virtual path has been created by the company to do that interaction, which takes us to the market.
In fact, this is one big good thing that the pandemic has done, which has enabled this particular platform to be a great unifier. I mean, can you imagine for the last 2 years, we have been doing our admission process, complete process online.
I think at one point of time, nobody would even imagine that something like this can happen.
obviously it's some, I mean, still people long for that particular process where you go and interact and all, but then things are all going well, very well. So corporates, companies, institutions, everybody has migrated to these platforms, and that's a great thing that has happened. तो pandemic ने कुछ अच्छा काम भी किया है.
Definitely.
Yes, sir.
Sanjula, the storyteller. So can you tell us what you are doing? As I know you're doing a lot, but for the comprehension of all, head of marketing B2B, dine out and dine out passport. What's your primary role?
Thank you, sir. So basically, I'm into hardcore marketing, and
Okay.
now it has three products. One is the B2B side of it, which is interaction with all restaurants. So I'll just quickly take a minute and tell you, Dine Out is an app which has about 50,000 restaurants on it, pan India. And these 50,000 restaurants, we offer a lot of discount on, so that people like you, me, everybody, who want to go to the fancier restaurants can also enjoy that experience without having the burden of paying at a 5-star. So if I get a 25% flat off, I mean, it becomes very affordable. So that's what I do. So on the restaurant side, I market Dine Out to the restaurants. I tell them that how this is going to be it, how you really need to bring these offers on board so that customers do come to you. So that's one. Secondly, there's also a technology side to it. Earlier, everything used to happen on pen and paper. A reservation, you call a restaurant, and all of that used to happen. Now nothing happens on pen and paper. Technology has made its way in the restaurant industry. I remember when I joined this organization 3 years ago, people told me, this is the biggest gamble of your life. What are you doing? Nobody in the restaurant industry is going to do this. And koi bhi paper pen ke alawa nahi lene wala hai tumhara. But it's happening. Everything is digital. There is a digital menu. In fact, today you go out to a restaurant, and if they don't have a digital menu, you judge the restaurant and you tell me, yeah, I didn't like it. Probably the place was not that good. The Tajes of the world have adopted it. So that's one side of what I do. Then the other side of what I do is I also market to the end customer, which is you guys. So I tell you guys that, hey, there is a Taj Krishna at Hyderabad. And as a student, I used to long to go to that place. And even if we used to go, हम एक pastry खा के आ जाते थे और वहाँ पे एक picture डाल देते थे that, hey, we went to the Taj. But today, a meal is very affordable because you get a flat 25% off. So technically, this is what I do. ATL, BTL, the entire marketing is something that I'm responsible for. But thankfully, A, to the pandemic, and B, to the digital world, that most of it is on the digital side. So we've reduced our expenses hugely to only digital now. And only a little bit of my role is into ATL and BTL. That too, when a major campaign is around, which is like a GIRF or something, the Great Indian Restaurant Festival. Apart from that, most of my marketing work lies digital for both B2B and the B2C side. So that's what I do.
Okay, so I mean, what was so very interesting about your introduction is you said you are into hardcore marketing. So आपको emphasis क्यों करना पड़ा hardcore marketing?
So because India mein na, marketing is more like sales. I'm so sorry, but most of the organizations do that. In fact, many companies who come and they offer you a job also, it's a sales job, and they just write marketing executive, and it's nothing like. I remember giving an interview to Zomato because I'm a storyteller. I'll just quickly tell this. I remember giving an interview to Zomato, and they said it's a marketing role. And when I sat for that interview, it was a pure sales role. And they said, nahi, isme bahut marketing karna hai. You have to talk to the restaurant, and you have to, market and do this and do that and convince them to come on board. But I really don't think that India may there are a lot of marketing roles in the company, because most of the companies don't even understand what marketing is. Like research is marketing. Like it really is. It's a major part of my job profile. So there are very less companies who actually respect the roles, and that's why I said hardcore marketing. I don't do sales.
Right. So I know where you're coming from, because see, when you say marketing, most of us understand that as sales, but marketing is an umbrella in which brand management, research and all is also there, and sales certainly is there.
Yeah.
Because पैसा वहीं से आता है और पैसा लाना तो करना पड़ेगा, right? Great. This question probably, I mean, this particular point can be shared by Ridhi. So Ridhi is into marketing, Sanjula is into marketing. And the perception has always been that marketing is not for the girls, or marketing लड़कियों को नहीं करना चाहिए. I'm sure this particular perception is going now. और वैसे ही और एक perception है कि which is boys are not cut out to be in HR. Interestingly, tomorrow we are doing one more session where Rahul Agarwal from Riddhi's and Prakhar batch is joining, and he's doing very well in HR. तो ये जो stereotypes हैं कि girls can only do very well in finance and account. I mean, BCom people can only do well in finance. Engineers cannot be very good in finance. But on the contrary, I see a lot of engineers joining finance specialization. So पहले I would like Riddhi to share her views कि when you started your career, आपके साथ भी ये मतलब you had to fight this particular block या things just happened for you?
No, I think that the times are changing. I do not think that there is any particular gender who's chiseled to do a particular role. So if I talk about my organization, I have a sales representative who is a girl in a state called Balia. It is one small town in UP.
I know.
Heads that particular place. So I mean, and she's doing out and out sales. Her job is a complete field job, and she's doing it there. And that girl is from Delhi, and she's currently posted in Balia, and she's doing that job. So I really don't think that there is any gender specific role. My HR head here is a male, and I think organizations are evolving. I think if you're capable, if they feel that you can do justice to the role, they'll probably take you. There's no more a gender bias saying that, we want just girls for HR or we just want boys for marketing. If you can do the role, if you were confident, if you're able to convince the organization that you can fulfill that, I really think the stereotype is breaking. Of course, there are still fabric of the society which would try to put you in boxes, but at the same time, the society is evolving to the other end also. So I think as far as my journey is concerned, I did not have any of those stereotypes when I came in. In fact, for a woman to head an organization of about 400 men in UP, that itself is breaking a stereotype. So I think we're going ahead.
That's a brilliant example.
Yeah, Prakhar, go ahead.
I was just saying that's a brilliant example that, a girl a woman in Balia, which because I also know I am also from UP. And out and out sale in that particular part of the state. It's an example altogether that anything is possible, and this gender stereotyping is now not so much into prevalent, especially in good organizations.
And talking about Balia, though it's not important, I am on the other side of Balia. My hometown on the other side of Balia, and Balia, by the way, is known as the constituency of the late Prime Minister Chandrasekhar.
Right.
Yes.
अभी उनके बेटे हैं, but he is in the Rajya Sabha. So I mean, absolutely no doubt about it कि जो रिधि ने example दिया, that probably breaks all stereotypes and all those things regarding that. Achha, one more thing I would like you guys to maybe comment, and maybe I can start with Prakhar on this and then maybe go to Sanjula. So I mean, when students have been given offers, most of the students have these queries. Okay, sir, I have got Pgdm marketing, but I believe my heart is in finance, or I've got Pgdm. I would like to specialize in operations. So what we tell them is कि I think you're taking a call too quickly. Maybe wait, join the campus, and then you take a call on that. Slowly things will change. So what was your experience, Prakhar, when you got the offer letter and you had been given a program? What was your reaction, and when you landed on the campus, how has been the journey in terms of selecting what you want to do?
Sure. No, you raised a very good point. So before joining, I had this apprehension that I may not, be able to understand finance, because honestly, I was not very good in quant and all those things. So for the same reason, I specifically chose Pgdm marketing when entering IMT Hyderabad. But when I went there, and of course in the first year, you normally study all the subjects, and there you get to know that that's the apprehension which you had before joining, or that preconceived notion which you have, that is not so right. So join the campus, understand what the different subjects are, because in the first year you normally get an overview of all the subjects, and then you are actually able to understand that this is where your interest lies in. So definitely don't come with a preconceived mindset that marketing is good or finance is good. Come here, okay, whatever subject you get, that's a different thing. But once you come here, you always have an option to change in the second year, right? And in the first year, everything is same for everybody. So from my experience perspective, when I landed up and with marketing, eventually I found out that I am a little bit more inclined towards finance. But again, because I had that preconceived notion, which probably did not go in my case, I stuck with marketing. Though I definitely started liking it, but this mindset was wrong when I entered. So I would want to say that don't come with that mindset.
Yeah. Oh, so what you're saying is come with an open mind.
Come with an open mind. That's very important.
Okay. Riddhi, what was your experience?
Sir, I think I would like to share that I had joined IMT as a PGDM marketing student.
Okay.
And I think somewhere it somehow students feel that PGDM, the normal, as in the general course, is a more premium course than the marketing course. I was among one of them. So I had kind put on my application saying, no, I want to, go back to the general. So I did graduate as a general student, but at the end I did a specialization in marketing. And to be very honest, I think what Prakhar said is absolutely correct. You should come here. I'm sure everybody will have some inclination towards say marketing or HR, but do come here, experience the all the subjects in the first year, and then take a call, because what we are thinking while probably you doing your undergraduation or what you are working is very different from what you'll experience in the first year of your campus. So come here and then take a call. So I think I did the transition, but now when I look back to my journey, I really feel it was not worth it. So
that's okay. I mean, you took up PGDM, but you specialize in the area where your heart was.
correct. So
Right.
I did marketing. And that is what I discovered while I was doing my first year, because I was also divided between marketing or finance. But finally, after looking at all the courses and understanding, and by chance, by the second semester, I was taking more of marketing courses. So I kind of got to know that that's where I want to go.
And Sanjula was absolutely clear from day one कि भाई marketing ही करना है.
Absolutely, sir. मेरा experience इसमें थोड़ा सा अलग था. In fact, I was given PGDM general when
Okay.
I forced. I remember Srividya ma'am was the one who was, at that time she was the admissions in charge, and she was trying to explain me in all forms of ways that PGDM general le lo, it's the same thing. We'll shift you to marketing. I said no. Day one I have to do this only because this is what I have to do. But I did not have a mindset that I don't want to do finance, because they explained me very properly that in the first year you will be exposed to everything. But I just, in my head, I was very clear that I wanted to do marketing, and that's why day one I changed it. And then I said, she was trying to reverse psychology. She's like, next year में आप marketing को core बना लेना. I said, ma'am, अगर ऐसा हुआ तो मैं next year में general पे change कर लूँगी, but अभी you please give me marketing. So I was a little clearer in the very beginning, but that's different for different people, I guess.
Okay, so for the benefit of the large student audience who have joined, can we say that it's okay if you have a little bit of confusion before landing on campus in terms of what you want to take? That's fine. You are in a very normal state, right? And once you reach the campus, first year interaction with seniors, interaction with faculty, things will start becoming more unclear. I think that this particular approach would be fine.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's the best one to have.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
So
if at all there is a confusion, you have an option to change, you have an option to choose. If you are very clear, I mean, like Sanjula was very clear, then of course that's a good thing. Come and join that thing.
Yeah. So I mean, so we can also say that you have clarity, then you are doing well, you have got that head start. But being confused, you're doing well. You are in a very good company. There are many people who are like you. Let me also inform the audience, those people who are listening to this interaction, that whatever questions you have in mind, kindly just keep posting that in the chat. We'll open up for that in the next 15 minutes. Okay. Right. Maybe I can ask this question, start with Sanjula. Sanjula, you remember your first day on campus?
Yeah.
And how was it?
Okay, maybe you don't like this answer, but it was like a resort for me. Honestly, it was. Dhananjay sir might not appreciate this, but when I walked in, I was like, my God, such a beautiful campus. How am I going to study? Honestly, that was my first thought. And it's lush, it's green. That was my first opinion, when you see something. And after that, I think once I started, with education, it was the best experience you can have in your life. I can vouch for IMT like through and through. So many people have, informally also asked me, apart from such alumni sessions, they've asked me, you're from IMT, I have also got an offer from IBS. Where should I go? What should I do? I said, yeah, just close your eyes and go for IMT Hyderabad. In fact, so many people ask me, which is better for me? Should I go to Nagpur? Should I go to Hyderabad? I feel Hyderabad is a little better, and especially for me. Because
So Sanjula, 1 minute. So I mean, what I would like you to share your views is, this is the campus infrastructure. That's fine. But I mean, when you landed on the campus and you meet people from so many places and all, तो वो first day का thought process और over a period of time आपका जो thought process change हुआ, जैसे हम लोग ना अपने मन में कुछ stereotypes पाल के बैठते हैं. And IMT Hyderabad is a campus. आपके information के लिए मैं बता दूं कि in the current batch which is going to graduate, we have students from 94 cities of India,
I was
right?
just saying that.
So when you guys landed on campus, and again I would like Sanjula to complete that and then move on to Prakhar and Riddhi. What was your thought, और वो stereotypes अगर थे तो कैसे change हुए over a period of time?
Biggest stereotype I think, sir, that I had was कि Hyderabad hai, this is going to be a South Indian campus. I don't know. I had it in my head. Okay? And when I came here, I said, yeah, this is going to be very difficult because I'm from the north and I don't know how we are going to adjust. But I did not feel that way. Day one, I did not feel that way. The students were from all parts of India. In fact, I felt the college was a little more north than south.
Okay.
Because probably IMT Hyderabad is such a hype. That's why. But as you all the stereotypes that I had. Okay, so that was one. The second one was probably MBA people are very snotty. They don't like talking to people. But that was also not the case. So there were a lot of stereotypes that I came. The third thing was Delhi girl. So what people will think about you, because people also have a lot of stereotypes about you. It's not just you going with them. So that was also something that I was a little shy of, that oh my god, how am I going to handle this? But I don't feel I did not feel all of it. I thought the professors are going to be South Indians, so they might not like us as but again that also got shattered on day one. So I'm very happy that all these stereotypes that I came with and I did were all wrong. So I was
Okay.
happy.
What was your experience, Riddhi? First day and then the time after that?
Somehow I did not have any stereotypes. Maybe I did not have any idea what I'm going up to. So, but I think it was a very, very amazing experience. I remember my first day setting up the room and everything, my parents leaving me saying bye. And I was very excited that the independent life kind of starts from here. And I remember the MOP sessions that we used to have in the initial days. So running for that. So I think it was an overall very good experience. I mean, when I think about it right now, I just feel all happy and positive about it. I somehow cannot recall any stereotype that I kind of started with.
Okay. Samarth has posted a very interesting question. We'll take it up later on. So guys, keep posting. I'm seeing 2-3 very interesting questions that have come. Prakhar, your experience? First day on campus?
Yes. So for me, like it was the second time for me, to be staying in a hotel. Hostel. Hotel.
Though our hostel was actually like a hotel.
So the best part which I liked was that we all had single rooms. Okay.
Yeah.
So because coming from a BTech background, and so I was studying at one of the colleges in UP under UP Technical University. So of course, this was something which was luxurious for me. Oh my God, single, and the room was also pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was a very good sign. Secondly, of course, the lush green campus, because when we joined, I think it was raining. So the weather was beautiful. The campus is in the outskirts of the city, near to airport and all those things. So it was a very fresh feeling. And of course, the third part was that because we had people from all parts of the country. And prior to this, I was not exposed to people from different parts. So, once you land up here, you also learn how to develop these people skills, how to talk to various kinds of people, because so far we have been only inclined towards people from north or probably our state. So this was something which was new to me and which was very nice, because before joining the campus we had these Facebook groups of different cities. So we also got in touch with a lot of folks in our respective cities before joining the campus. So that that thing that okay, we'll be meeting all those people again and start of a new campus, IMT as a brand, beautiful campus. So all those things gave a very positive image.
Okay, any memories of the orientation program that you guys have, if anybody would like to share? Remember your 2-week introductory module? So anybody would like to share any views on that? I'm not going to call names.
I was sitting with my husband in that first class, so I remember it very clearly.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
But I mean, back then probably you were not. I mean, I don't think it was clear that he's going to be a husband, right?
Obviously, yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, guys. So for the information of the people who are here in the session, now that Riddhi has talked about it, Riddhi Mundra was a student of 13-15 batch, and Riddhi also found her life partner, Deep Narayan. So now Riddhi has become Riddhi Narayan, right? So Deep Narayan was the student of 13-15 batch, and Deep's younger brother Uday Narayan also graduated from IMT Hyderabad. So Narayan family is as good as an IMT Hyderabad family. maybe at the end, if you have time, probably we would like to say hello to at least Deep. अगर है तो उसे certainly hello करना चाहेंगे. So Deep is running his own business, right? And Uday was into digital marketing, so I'm sure he must be doing very well there. And Riddhi तो आपके सामने है, अपने views share कर रही है. गुड. और एक चीज जो स्टूडेंट्स के माइंड में काफी सारा आता है कि सर हम जब स्पेशलाइजेशन सेलेक्ट करेंगे तो हाउ डू वी सेलेक्ट और इलेक्टिव्स. तो वी गिव आवर पर्सपेक्टिव, बट आई थिंक व्हेन यू गाइस शेयर योर पर्सपेक्टिव बहुत सारी चीजें क्लियर हो जाएंगी. तो प्रखर, आपने कैसे डिसाइड किया कि आपको कौन से इलेक्टिव्स लेने हैं? फैकल्टी ने रोल प्ले किया कि मुझे उस फैकल्टी के क्लास में बैठनी है तो मुझे वही इलेक्टिव पढ़ना है, या फिर लास्ट ईयर का पैकेज उसमें बेटर था तो आपने उस इलेक्टिव को लिया या उस स्पेशलाइजेशन को किया? व्हाट वाज योर thought in terms of selecting an elective or specialization?
So my thought process was, of course, it wasn't dependent on any faculty because, to be very honest, all the faculties were very good. So the way they used to teach in the class, the examples and everything, case studies, everything was perfect. So after definitely, going through the 1 year phase, ये पता चल गया था कि yes, I'll be going ahead with marketing thing. And because snippets थे, of retail marketing, say for example, or say analytics in that sense. So एक आइडिया हो गया था कि दिस इज वेयर आई वांट टू गो अहेड, लाइक सर्टेनली नॉट फाइनेंस, उस टाइम पे इट वाज क्लियर. तो इट वाज नॉट सो डिफिकल्ट टू डिसाइड. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई आल्सो कंसल्टेड, आई थिंक, श्रीविद्या मैम दैट टाइम. आई डेफिनेटली वेंट टू हर कि मैम दिस इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेक, सो फ्यूचर प्रोस्पेक्ट्स इसके क्या है. आई डेफिनेटली डिड ऑल दोस रिसर्च, क्या प्रोस्पेक्ट्स एंड ऑल क्या है. ऑफ कोर्स कौन सी कंपनीज आ रही है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट पर्टिकुलर elective. That was also one of the things, but again it was more towards the interest, because that's what we developed through the case studies and all those class interactions and everything. So that was my case.
Okay. Well, how did you approach this, Sanjula?
Sir, I was a little analytical here. I knew from the very beginning कि marketing करना है, but marketing also I was very, very stringent about brand management. That's what I wanted to do. So all my electives sort of revolved around it. So then I decided in my head कि alright, these are the top 10 companies which I probably would want to work for in the near future. So there were companies, most of the companies that the list that I made were either into e-commerce or digital. So then I understood that okay, digital courses is something that I want to do, e-commerce marketing is something that I want to do, probably sales ka idea hona chahiye to ek elective wo le sakte hain. So all of these things are what sort of shaped my mind that okay, these are some electives. Or obviously the professors were really helpful. I remember coming to you and asking you ki sir, if you could help me and decide whether this subject has a future, because I remember e-commerce बहुत नया introduce हुआ था उस time पे. So I remember asking you, I remember asking Siva sir. So all of these things played a very, very vital role. Honestly, for me, professors didn't play a role ki acha Sri Vidya ma'am is teaching this, so let me take that course, or Panda sir is teaching this, so let me take that course. That did not play a role for me, at least. Most my electives were basis ki what is it that I want to do in the future. So that's how I decided.
And Sanjula, I still remember that I don't know whether you remember or not, you had showed me your 2-page write-up, and the way you had articulated your thoughts and the way you have presented, that was brilliant, because you had an offer with a company, I think way2work.com, way to something like that, and you wanted to move on to some other company. So I still remember that 2 pages of thought that you had put on paper. That was awesome. So I think probably you were very, very clear. Riddhi, your views or comments on this?
I think slowly, after kind of being introduced to basic subjects in the first semester, we kind of understood the feelers of all the other subjects. So I think basis interest is how I kind of selected, what I want to do. I remember taking retail management. Andal ma'am was taking that particular class. I've done brand management course under thing under you. So I think I kind of slowly, once you start reading those options, you kind of get to know, this is clicking with me, this is not clicking with me. So somehow those marketing topics started clicking with me, and that's how I started selecting them. So of course, I mean, across all the marketing professors that we had, there was nothing we have to take it because of this professor. It was very organically going with the interest that we had.
Okay. Now there have been quite a few questions, so let's also address some of those questions. So there is first question which says, can I shift if I have been offered a program? So let me answer this, because yes, you can shift whatever program you have been allocated, and the shift is a function of 2 things which happened, like you just heard. I think Riddhi saying and Prakhar ki from Pgdm they wanted to go to marketing. but then they shifted to PGDM and then they specialize in marketing. So shift is very much possible. This is subject to swap on campus. And in case we are not able to fill all the seats because of the cutoffs we have, then in that particular core area or that particular specialization, you can make that particular shift. Because IMT Hyderabad has got 120 seats in PGDM, 16 PGDM marketing and 16 PGDM finance. So shift is very much possible and it has been happening, and I don't see a reason why it should not happen for your batch. Right? Then there is a question which I think would like to direct to you three. They're asking, Upasana is asking, what made you guys to choose IMT Hyderabad? Sanjula? And then maybe Prakhar and Ridhi?
Okay, I got a 90 percentile in CAT and I missed, I am 89 point something, honestly, and I missed IMT Hyderabad. Right? And I did not want to wait another year. So I chose IMT Hyderabad. That's my clear-cut reason. And I was very happy with the campus. A lot of people told me, wait a year, give the CAT again, do this, do that. I said, no, yeah, nothing doing. I'm not wasting another year of my life. I'm joining IMT Hyderabad. And that was it. No other reason for me.
But
And
Sanjula 89% said you could have stayed in some campus in Delhi. Matlab you only wanted to do at IMT.
So I didn't apply anywhere else.
Acha, okay. Good for IMT Hyderabad. You landed and you're doing very well.
Sanjula was even clear with the college also. I will go to IMT Hyderabad only.
What about you, Prakhar? Why did you choose IMT Hyderabad?
See, based on the score which I had, so I came through CMAT at that time.
Okay.
So I had a list of colleges, of course, 4 or 5 I was through them. But I came to IMT because it was definitely the brand. So that still plays a good role in, especially in IT organizations, because I've been a part of that. So definitely the brand plays a role. Secondly, the professors. So before joining the college, I actually went through, how are the professors, what are their backgrounds, any research papers, if they're published or not. And I definitely contacted the immediate senior batch as well through Facebooks and all those things. So that thing I got to know that the process which we follow here, the case study approach and the practitioner sessions, that 20-25% of the syllabus would be covered by practitioners. This is something which put IMT Hyderabad at the top of the list of my selected colleges. So that was the reason. And of course, Hyderabad being a city that time, it was, even now it is growing at a great speed. But of course, there are a lot of companies there. So this notion also we have that companies would visit. There are a lot of chances for pre-placements and internships, all those things. So these were the 2-3 parameters.
But Prakhar, I'm really glad you brought this point, and I would like to share this for the benefit of all. See, colleges can make their claims, but like Prakhar has done, I think you guys should, whichever college you're talking to or wherever you're being given an offer, you should do your own research in terms of understanding what is the faculty. Because see, as far as hard infrastructure is concerned, everybody can put that in place. But the real value of an MBA program, based on my experience, has been what you get inside the campus. And that's a direct function of the faculty and the process which are put in place. So, good that Prakhar, you brought this particular point. Very, very, very important point. Ridhi, your thoughts on why IMT Hyderabad?
At that point of time, I'd got like admission in Nagpur and I was like open to Hyderabad also. And at that point of time, I remember that me and my parents flew down from Delhi to Hyderabad to just look at the campus. And then I knew somebody who already just recently passed out from Hyderabad. So that was another reason why I was able to kind of decide. Then obviously looking at the placements, visiting the campus and actually seeing how it is. And then how Hyderabad is kind of, central, how companies were coming around at that point of time. So those were the reasons why I kind of selected the Hyderabad campus. And of course, then even I reached out to a few seniors. Like I told you, one senior I knew by chance who had passed out. And similarly, I tried to talk to other people in terms of how the placements is, how the campus is, what the approach is. That kind of helped me build my decision of that IMT Hyderabad is where I want to go. And of course, IMT as a brand was something that I definitely wanted, and like how it helps Prakhar in the IT, I think it really helps me in the telecom also. So it really stands out with me that I'm a graduate from IMT, and it has really helped me in my career.
Okay, if you don't mind, can you be a bit specific in terms of how it has helped in your career?
I'll tell you that what happens. So generally, every organization goes through mergers. There are times when company kind of thinks and reevaluates how many employees do they want, how many they don't want. So I have been part of 2 such mergers that has happened within Airtel. while people were being evaluated in terms of whether we want these people or not, to be very honest, there have been times when HR has gone, "Ye to IMT says that she'll obviously be on board." So there have been such situations. So people do recognize that you come from a very good institute and they value that, and you are on the table. I mean, to be honest, if there is a person with an IMT resume and with a person with some other college, I think IMT will get a preferential treatment because of the brand, because of the alumni that is there. And of course, the huge alumni of IMT is available across all top organizations that I can see. I know a lot of IMT alumni now who were part of Airtel also. So I think it has really helped me sail through all those transition times. And of course, it kind of adds value also. And the trust in terms of giving you project also gets added. That, somebody studied from IMT, has worked for so many years, I think she'll be able to do it. So that trust also kind of builds in.
So that's a plus one for me. I'm so sorry. I'm just adding on. That's a plus one for me also, because I think that, whenever I'm also evaluating any resume now, this matters a lot. We are asked to give a preferential treatment to colleges that are, in the A-list category. So I must have also, when CVs were being rolled for me, I'm sure that I don't know of this incident particularly, but I think I support what Riddhi just said, especially in cases of mergers, which I think very recently I've experienced. This is an added factor, and this really helps you a lot. So I think that brand value, the brand name matters, which I didn't know earlier when I was joining, but it's helped me.
And especially, in later stages of your career, when you would want to make a switch from one company to another. So I have given quite a few interviews. Riddhi knows that when I was, in my notice period in SBI Life, I used to practically visit every campus in Mumbai. So whoever is ready to give, to take an interview with me, I'll come and give it to you. So there also, if your college is good, then the designation which they give you on the switch, that makes a difference. So for example, here at Infosys, had it been any other probably institute, then I would have come at a consultant stage based on the experience which we have post MBA. But because of the IMT tag, senior consultant is the one which was offered. Similarly goes with other organizations. So that is something which is a plus point.
Right. So the summary, the nichode of all the discussion is IMT rocks, and IMT is a big alumni community outside there, and it is not just Hyderabad, it's Hyderabad, Ghaziabad, Nagpur,
all four, yeah,
and many more, all four. Good. Samarth has got a question, and I think I'll answer this question. He says he has got an offer for Pgdm Finance. So at the end of the course, what will be the degree? Okay. So for the benefit of all guys, please understand this. Whatever specialization you do, your convocation certificate will only say that you have convocated with a degree in either Pgdm or Pgdm Financial Management or Pgdm Marketing, while your grade sheets will have the name of the courses and electives that you have studied, right? Your convocation certificate will not mention your specializations, right? Then we have a question from Rupam. Okay, I leave it to your judgment to decide who would like to answer this. So Rupam has a 2-year gap, and his question is, will it pose any problem during summer internship? So as far as the institute is concerned, let me answer. No, it will not pose any problem. Will it pose any problem for student exchange? We don't pose any problem for student exchange. It all depends on the partner institution. So 2 years back, students went to Audencia Business School, Neoma Business School. So that is going to happen. There is no problem there. Let me put this question to you guys. Will it have any impact as far as placement is concerned, and how would the corporates look at that 2-year gap if it is explained well?
See, honestly, I would say corporates will ask you that why the 2-year gap is there. But okay, when you are graduating straight away from the college, you don't have any gap after that, right? After coming to IMT Hyderabad, when you graduate, placements won't be an issue, but this question will definitely be asked by corporates, like why this gap? So you have to answer it pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see gap being a problem. I had a 1-year gap. So I was working in that 1 year, but I don't see the gap being any kind of a problem. If you're good at what you want to do, if you know what you want to do, if the company is very sure of you, I really don't think it matters. And gap in India, any which way, even with now that I want to take a 1-year gap after doing my graduation, post-graduation, in the job, 1 year, 2 year, I don't think it matters. As Prakhar said, if it's answered well, if you know why you took that gap, even if it's to take care of your family, that works. So I don't see gap being a problem.
Okay, Upasana has got an interesting question. Upasana is saying, what if I'm confused between 2 different kinds of specialization? What should I do? There is another part to her question which I'll answer. So what will be your suggestion to Upasana? Riddhi, she's confused between two specializations.
I think just take one day at a time. Just start the first semester and the clarity will follow. You will have a lot of more exposure. You'll be talking to a lot of other students. You'll be talking to your seniors. You'll be talking to your faculty. And while you studying, you will somehow kind of understand where your inclination is. So don't try and answer all your questions on the first day. All of us, wherever we are, whatever we are doing right now, we didn't have answers to all the questions. We did not know what kind of placements are we looking at, what subjects we are looking at. So just take one day at a time, look at the institution, look, does it resonate with you? Whatever is offered in the institution, does that resonate with you? Specialization can follow. I know it's important, but it can follow is what I would like to say.
And the same confusion goes even after college. See, which field do I build my career in? Should it be sales? Should it be marketing? So again, there also we take about a year. Of course, I won't say that you think for 5 years, but give it some time, and definitely then anything can happen. Like 1 year is not a big thing. You can think it through.
Okay. Sanjula has got something to say on this, or should I add my point?
Sir, please add your point. It's absolutely what Riddhi and Prakhar said.
Right. So the answer is, if you are confused and you would like to take up two specialization as an institution, we allow that. So we have this concept of measure in two. So in the second year, you have to select 12 electives. 6 could be from marketing, 6 could be from finance. We also have the major and minor concept where 6 has to be from one area and 4 from another area. You could even specialize, you can take up all your 12 electives in one area. So choice is yours, right? But personally, I would suggest not to go for this gamble of two specializations. I know why you guys do that. You think that you are maximizing your opportunities of cracking placement, but actually you end up putting your leg in two baskets, and that becomes too much of a stretch. So this is not suggested, but let me also say this. There are many students who do that, right? So as an institution, we have the options you can take. And as all three of them, Prakhar, Riddhi and Sanjula, have time and again said that don't get bogged down by what specialization at this point of time. Join the program, get on the campus, talk to the seniors, do your internship. Slowly things will evolve, and trust me, it's going to happen. Okay. Then there is a question. Okay, I think I can answer this. Somebody is asking, do we get FMCG companies on campus? So good question. Interestingly, this year, if I remember, we had Reliance Retail on campus. Philips Lighting had also come in campus way back when 13-15 batch itself. Hafle has been coming on campus. There's this company based out of Oman, I'm forgetting the name, who have been regular recruiters on campus, Khimji Ramdas. So Khimji Ramdas comes on campus. So yeah, there are good number of FMCG companies coming. Infinity Retail, which is part of Tata, which owns the Chroma stores. They have been coming on campus, and some of our students are doing very well on these campuses or on these with these corporates. So good number of FMCG companies come on campus. And guys, this year placements have been very good at IMT Hyderabad campus. I mean, if I share the names of the companies, Prakhar, Riddhi and Sanjula would be like, where were these companies when we were there on the campus? So Cognizant, Infosys, Accenture all lined up to come to IMT Hyderabad. And Wipro Digital visited our campus thrice. Then we had Morgan Stanley, we had Goldman Sachs, we had Bain and Company, who came and recruited and hired students in finance and the consulting roles. So no dearth of opportunities, and the way we are going, I think things are going to become much, much better, right? Then there's a question which says, this question is from Shreya Krishna. What is the difference between being accredited to AACSB and being a member of? Okay, good question. So I will answer this. So you become a member and then you start the process of getting the accreditation from AACSB. It's a long drawn process. So IMT Ghaziabad campus is already a AACSB accredited institution, and IMT Hyderabad is in the process of becoming one. So maybe 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line, we would also have this AACSB accreditation. As of now, there are only 6 or 7 campuses, including IIMs, who have this AACSB accreditation. Okay. Then there is a question. Okay, this question I think you guys should answer. So there's a question from Saryu Gupta, and the question is, how did you prepare for the exams and what were the strategies for the exams? I think probably he's talking about the exams on campus.
Oh.
So maybe we can start with Prakhar.
I used to concentrate, well on in the class participation and all those things, because I generally found that reading theoretically was a little difficult thing. So I focused on case studies to understand the concepts. So definitely, because class participation also plays a good role in the overall final rating. And once you know the concepts, I think when you write it in your own language, I think that's pretty much it. So there is, and of course, see, it has to be a continuous process. Just forget the fact that you are coming from a BTech or a BCom or whatever background where you study at the end of the day, or just before the exam. So you have to be thorough every day. Just focus on the class, and I think that's enough. That's what helped me as well.
Yeah. I think same for me. It has to be, you have to be really active with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And learning in MBA is very different. In PGDM is very different. It's not just the books. It's more interaction with your peers. It's more interaction with your professors. It's asking the right questions. It's being really attentive. Like, for example, sleep is a challenge at IMT, right? Because you want to do a lot of things. You want to be part of this group and that thing, and you want to also play around. For example, I used to play basketball the entire time, so it was very challenging to find time for sleep. Now, because of that, sometimes you felt sleepy in the classroom, but you can't afford that, because then, as Prakhar said, it's not like opening the book on the last day and saying ki, acha yaar, let me do these 5 things and ho jayega. I remember Dhananjay sir doing an open book for us once for a sales thing, and it was a tough exam. There was an open book. Imagine the book is kept in front of us and we had to write the answers from the book. But agar aapne kabhi padha hi nahi hai usko, if you've never read the book, how would you treat that question? You wouldn't even know what page to find the answer on. So I feel that you have to be really attentive with your class, and you have to be really interactive with your professors. Like, you can't take them lightly. So I think these were the 2 things that really helped me.
And,
Really?
and just a very small thing, I think I also see this one question from Abhishek saying that how should we prepare before joining any business school? So when you are in the campus, make it a habit, again, work for me, make it a habit to read, business newspapers, be it Business Standard, Economic Times, because once you are in a habit of reading that, you will be able to club that with the theoretical aspects which are being taught in the class. And that's enough. That's enough to do anything, because you'll be able to drive the class participation. You'll be able to map the theory with the practical thing which is happening in the world. That helps.
Okay, Riddhi, before I ask you to share your views, let me ask this, and I would like Riddhi to comment on this. Riddhi, do you think you are able to crack the class participation code?
No, I think I was a little poor on the class participation course. By the end of the course, I was still there, but initially I was very, very hesitant in terms of the class participation course. I used to score more on the theoretical part, and my points in class participation were the lesser one. And I think Prakhar and Manjula were on the other side. Or, I mean, of course, the class participation is definitely high for them. So I think one thing that I would like to mention is the way you study in an MBA in a post-graduation school is very different from the entire education system that you've done till your undergraduation. Till your undergraduation, in your schooling, you're told that there is one right answer and you are an individual performer and you have to do it all by your own. But when you come to an MBA and when you're actually working, it's very different. You are not an individual performer. You have to work as a group and there is no right answer. So a problem can have different perspective. There can be different answers to one question. So that's a very different shift that you will feel once you are coming and studying here. So whatever we've been doing before and what you will be answering the way questions here is going to be very different. So I think, like how these guys said, understanding the class and understanding the concept is going to help. Those days of ratifications will not help.
So guys, the message from these people, from these 3 people who have been there and experienced is, one day batting काम नहीं करेगा, 2020 बिल्कुल काम नहीं करेगा, और by the time you come to the end term examination, आपका 60% evaluation हो जाएगा. Right? So when you guys say that it was 70-30, now it has become 60-40. So 60% evaluation is done. बाकी 40 marks आपके हाथ में है. उस 40 में आप 40 भी 40 लाओगे तो भी हो सकता है आपका ग्रेड बी हो सकता है, सी हो सकता है, बिकॉज आप 60 में काफी बुरा किए हो. So it's an continuous process of getting evaluated. and you have to get used to that, right? So faculty, student, peers, all this is going to become part and parcel of life. And I have this very unique habit of forming my own groups for my students, which students may hate, but I love doing that.
I think it's very, very important. I think as students, once you're on campus, you'll be asked to make groups for all case studies. Please try and take an initiative to make different groups every time. It's very important to interact with other people. There'll be times when you will not be in sync with other people. There'll be times when you will be in sync with people. But learning how to do this conflict management is very important.
And Riddhi, I'll tell you, there's a very important reason why we do like that. I don't know what other faculties have in mind. So my personal thinking is the campuses or the good MBA colleges are preparing you for corporate world.
Yes.
And in corporates, I do not have a chance to choose my boss. I cannot choose my colleagues. So if I cannot choose my boss, I cannot choose my colleagues. I better live with that on campus as well, which is just a year or 2.5 years, 2 years before the actual corporate world. So you're getting prepared for doing that. Now, if somebody thinks that he's an Einstein or he's an Steve Jobs, then you're not coming to IMT Hyderabad. You will anyhow become Einstein. We are talking about lesser models like us. जो extraordinary है वो extraordinary है, तो कभी भी बाहर रहेगा वो, right? But there is a method in all these things. This madness that you guys will think of and this chaos. There is a lot of method in this, and that is what you need to appreciate. Okay, somebody is saying, he's asking you to share your experience. Will the faculty help you in selecting the electives? Yeah, they'll scare you.
No, they'll definitely help you.
You can take advice, of course, because you may not have all the knowledge of that particular subject. You can take advice, but again, you have to align that with your interests, right? Faculties will help you in all possible ways.
I think faculty becomes your friend after a point of time. I mean, I was very friendly with all my professors, like in a very good and a very professional way is what I'm trying to say. Because at the end of the day, if you don't interact with them, you don't go to them with your tiniest issues, when it comes to your academics, then you're doing wrong to yourself is what I feel. I wasn't scared of anyone, although there might be a perception कि यार इस professor से थोड़ा कम बात करो, probably this if this professor has a bad impression of you, you can't turn it around. So all of that you'll hear, but I never went with that. I was like, okay, ज़्यादा डांट पड़ जाएगी, which is fine. So that's how I went.
But without taking names, I'm sure you guys when you are on campus, आपके भी तो होंगे ना कि भाई इनसे बात कर सकते हैं, इनसे नहीं कर सकते हैं, ये काफी सीरियस टाइप के हैं, ऐसा तो होगा कुछ ना कुछ, प्रखर?
Yes, sir. Without taking names, they were helpful definitely, but of course they were probably more stricter as compared to other professors. So some were very, very friendly, some were of course a little bit strict, but everybody was helpful, irrespective of the domain.
I agree.
Okay, Sri Kumar is saying that he's asking, in fact, he's raising a very good point. How does it feel coming from a pure science background for an MBA course? Would you like to answer, or should I share my views on this?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. Pure science.
The point that Sri Kumar is asking is, how does it feel initially to do an MBA program coming from pure science background?
See, I had a little luck there because I had done 1 year of my, my job description. So I was working with Pepsi before I joined IMT. So that was in marketing role. So that's why I had a little experience, but I didn't feel very different. But probably Prakhar could answer this a little bit.
See, MBA teaches you more of being structured, right? Because in an undergraduate thing, you are more focused on your particular domain. But here it has to be irrespective of the domain. Like you may go to an IT industry or a telecom industry or probably a restaurant, anything else. So MBA would teach you a structured approach. If you're coming from a pure science background, I don't think so it will have any conflict with respect to what you are learning in the institute.
Okay. So let me share my views on this. I hope you guys are aware that when you apply for an MBA program or a PGDM program, wherever you apply, IIM Ahmedabad, IMT Ghaziabad, whichever campus, it says any graduate. So what is the reason behind saying any graduate? Because the program has been designed in such a way that you are essentially being imparted just 5 skills: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. And you must be thinking कि भाई इतना ही है स्टोरी और हम इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं. हाँ, स्टोरी इतना ही है, पर जिस तरीके से होता है, the way it happens, the way you get to do all these things is what makes the difference, right? So any graduate, you are talking about pure science. There are campuses, there are programs where I think in 1 year we had a student who had come with BDS background, Bachelor in Dental Science. There are campuses where in a class you will have an architect, you will have an doctor, you will have an engineer, you will have a commerce graduate, and you will have an home science graduate as well, right? So with pure science, you are in a much better place. You are absolutely cut out to do an MBA program, provided you have the interest. Okay. Sanya is raising the point that she has been allotted PGDM financial management. Will most courses be in finance, or she can select courses from other areas as well? So Sanya, let me answer this question for you. Though you are being allocated PGDM finance, in finance there are going to be about 17 to 18 courses or electives. You have to select any 6 electives of your choice for you to specialize in that area between term 4, 5 and 6. Can you select courses in analytics? The answer is absolutely. Can I select courses in operations management? The answer is yes, because IMT Hyderabad follows what is called as choice based selective system. आप electives अपने आप select करते हो and the guidance of faculty. हम आपको impose नहीं करते हैं, ठीक है? Only thing we ensure is कि in that particular elective there are at least 10 to 12 students, so that उसको offer करने में वो हमारे लिए workout करेगा. I cannot have an option where everybody opts for a course and I start offering it. That becomes very difficult, right? So we are in the last maybe 20-25 minutes of the session. So we'll quickly take these things here, questions that are coming up quick and fast. There is one Dhananjay, interestingly, who is asking the question to us. So being a fresh engineer, how difficult will it be to enter into consulting? So we have a consultant with us. Let us hear from us. Let us hear from him. Prakhar, this question probably you can answer, that how you have become a consultant, and can a fresher think of becoming a consultant? Will it happen automatically, or he has to spend time doing certain jobs?
Here, I would say a lot of times we ask that whatever you study in theory, how does it map to the practical world? So when it comes to consulting, I can say that, of course, engineering, you have to do an MBA for that. So because in MBA, when you have frameworks, as in how to approach a particular problem statement, irrespective whether you are a fresher or you are a experienced person, if you understand that framework, that this is a problem statement, this is how I approach it, which is being actually taught in the B schools, then of course it's not a problem. You can definitely start your consulting journey as a fresher, of course, provided after the MBA course. So it really makes no difference whether you're an experienced or this one. Of course, if you're an experienced one, you take on to that problem statement in a little refined manner. But when you understand the concepts of the framework, for example, if there is a go-to-market strategy, then okay, these are the 4 steps which I have to do initially. If I need to design a product, these are the things which I start with. I research, then I talk to a lot of people, I jot it down to, I make a product funnel out of it. So all those things are being taught to you in the schools, and the same you apply in the consulting field. So it's very easy. It's not a problem being a fresher.
Riddhi, you want to add something to this?
Riddhi, you're on mute.
You're on mute. We are not able to hear you.
Some technical glitch, I think.
Yeah, now you try.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So I think somewhat to what I think Prakhar is saying, being a fresher, I do not think that is a challenge to a consulting job. So I think in our batch also there were a lot of freshers who have now been doing consulting jobs. So it really matters how your approach is, how you are solving problems, and how are you able to while your interview is happening or the organization is looking for what, that has to match. Being a fresher and experience, I do not think that, I mean, if there is a job role which requires an experienced person, that's a different ball game altogether. But if the organization is open, you will definitely have an open chance to that. I do not see that as a constraint at all.
Okay, so let me add just one point here. So Prakhar is sounding very modest. So Prakhar has reached where he has reached after putting in some 7-8 years of experience. Then Infosys has trusted in him to give that particular role. And just let's make things very, very simple. You are a consultant, so you are supposed to advise me. मैं आपके पास एडवाइस लेने कब आऊंगा? जब मुझे पता चलेगा कि आपने कुछ काम किया है, राइट? तो आप फ्रेश हो, आपके पास कोई एक्सपीरियंस नहीं, मैं आपके पास क्यों एडवाइस लेने आऊंगा?
नहीं, let me tell you this thing, sir. मतलब एक छोटी सी चीज मैं ऐड करना चाहूंगा. So when you are joining as a fresher, of course you won't be directly doing the client role.
Correct.
Okay. Starting में थोड़ा सा research वगैरह में भी back end वाला चीज रहता है. But what generally big fours or any other consulting firms, how would they assess you when you are a fresher? They will give you a case study. Everybody does that. That okay, this is the case study. These are the graphs. Now tell us how do you approach this problem? Or maybe they give you a question like a guesstimate, typical guesstimate questions. How many footballs do you want to manufacture for the city of Mumbai? That's the one-liner statement. So they will test you on your approach as a fresher. So if your approach is right, irrespective whether your answer is right or wrong, that's a different thing. Approach is what they say, and then they will take you to consulting. Initially, you will assist the people who are on a client-facing role, but you still enter the field, right? And after 2-3 years, of course, then you switch on to the client-facing role. So that's a story.
So how gently it is that you join as an analyst and then slowly you kind of progress to a consultant role. So the analyst helps the current consultants in terms of doing the back-end work, being a part of the meeting, maybe not an active one, slowly with about like how Prakhar has experienced about 6 years now, and then moving on to a completely client-facing role. So you will have to, fulfill the journey.
I think
Okay.
that's true for every field. Even in marketing, when you technically join as an executive. Like they will give you research work and most of that, but then slowly it depends on how quickly you take the pace with the organization, and then the progression starts.
Okay, Shweta is asking Sanjula madam and Riddhi madam to share their hostel experience. So one of them can share.
I think it was very, very good. We used to have a blast after all our classes were over, and absolutely lovely. We made friends for life and very comfortable, no problems at all. And we did have common access, common areas like the TV areas and everything in our hostel. So absolutely beautiful, absolutely comfortable, and you will make friends and relationship for life.
I
Okay.
think I just wanna
Sanjula, just hold on 1 minute. So Sanjula, probably you can answer this. There is one more related question. This is from Sugandha Bansal. So she's saying, did you guys face any problem? Because she has heard it seems that IMT Hyderabad campus is outside the city. So did you face any problem?
Yeah, I didn't face any problem. Even if it's outside, every B school mostly is outside the city campus only. Now, where will you get such a large area to probably build a B school? बहुत कम IMT Ghaziabad बहुत rare है, and Ghaziabad itself, I put up here. I'm currently in Ghaziabad. It's not a city, honestly. Born and brought up in Ghaziabad. But what I'm trying to say is, I did not face any problems. And just adding on to the hostel point a little bit here, as Prakhar mentioned, earlier, I came from a BTech background where 4 people share a room, and studying was such a problem. Honestly, it was. Someone wants to play the radio, somebody wants to watch a little thing on the laptop. Mein earphones nahi rakh sakte, in the ear. From all those problems, when I entered my hostel room, I said, "Oh my God, how will 2 people sleep in this small room?" And then I was informed, "No, it's just for you." And I was like, "My God, this is like toppers deserve it." So that kind of a treatment you get day one. So I don't see any problem in the hostel or in the campus. It was very safe. We were very safe outside the city. We used to make a group of like 5 people and then go out to have fun probably over the weekends. But I did not face any challenge, and the hostel was lovely for me at least.
And the
In fact-
commute and all from the campus also, it gets adjusted. We used to go out of the campus very comfortably and very safely. So not a problem at all, even if it's in the outskirts, if that's the concern.
And now I think it's not outskirts anymore. A lot of things have come up in Shamshabad, that district.
Only added Hava, yaar. I think now a lot of things are there. Like I visited recently and I was like, my God, it's changed like drastically.
And anytime Hyderabad airport is nearby, you can go there, have food. So it's amazing.
No, now to Zomato also is coming on campus.
Oh,
I'm not, I should not say because my mess food is great, but then Zomato is also coming on campus. और आपका जो धाबा था ना, सुची धाबा, that's very much active. जैसे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं, that becomes active.
Wow.
Okay. एंड अच्छा, और एक चीज मुझे पूछना था कि जब आप लोग कैंपस ज्वाइन किए थे तो आपके बैच से ऐसा कोई रिक्वेस्ट था कि सर हम लोग दोस्त हैं, हम साथ ही रहना चाहते हैं, सर हमको इंडिपेंडेंट रूम नहीं चाहिए?
but he was more than happy with independent rooms.
Interestingly, there was one batch, I'll not give the name of the student, so those 2 guys came and said कि सर we are best friends and और हमको इंडिपेंडेंट रूम नहीं चाहिए सर, हमें डर लगता है, we would like to stay together, but then we had to say no, the rules do not permit that, and we ensured that those 2 guys landed up on 2 different floors so that दोस्ती में थोड़ा कलन हो जाए and they'll get to learn different things.
No, I think all of us very happy with the single rooms.
Yeah, I love
So, all
it.
good.
In fact, here I can say कि we are even better than Ghaziabad because Ghaziabad में भी रूम शेयरिंग करना पड़ता है.
Right.
और आपके बैच नहीं, आपके जूनियर बैच से स्टूडेंट्स गए थे वहां पर एडमिशन प्रोसेस में, और यहाँ स्टे करके जब उनको वहां पे हॉस्टल रूम दिया गया तो कह रहे हैं सर ये लोग कहाँ में रखे हैं सर। हमने कहा भाई हॉस्टल है वो, नजदीक गाजियाबाद हॉस्टल।
To be
So
honest, with IMT, you will not feel like hostel. You'll feel like your room will be like a small home over there. So it's going to be a very different experience when you speak to other friends of yours who are in different B schools. So it's going to be a very different hostel experience and a very positive and a good one.
And because sir said it's an informal session, I just say, Prakhar ki muh se nikal gaya tha, it's actually like a hotel feel. Matlab, I didn't feel that I was in a hostel, honestly.
Achha, somebody is asking ki, can I do a PhD after my PGDM? So you can certainly do your PhD, because our PGDM program is part of what is called as AIU. So Association of Indian Universities has given us the equivalent certificate, and हमारे साथ बहुत सारे examples हैं. So I would not suggest you to think of doing PhD. In fact, I would pray that you do very well in corporate. But अगर आपको नहीं मन करता है कि आपको PhD करना है, तो there are many examples from this batch, senior batch, junior batch. I think रिधि आपके बैच में ना वो स्टूडेंट थी जो प्रत्युषा, if I'm not wrong, प्रत्युषा आचार्य.
She was a senior to us.
Senior batch.
Okay.
She was a
So
senior
she
to
has
us.
completed her program from Harvard Business School. And आपके उसी बैच में I think there was one more student who went to Germany to do her PhD. So subtly not a problem. You can do whatever you want to do. But we would like you to do very well in corporate, because you're not coming from a PGDM program to get into academics. Then eligible for PhD, I think we have already answered this. Dhruv Gaur is saying he's an engineer and what are the skills he has to work on. He has been offered PGDM. He's interested in marketing and finance. So I think he's a typical student who would be having all these kind of doubts. And I think Prakhar, Riddhi, and I've already answered this, including Sanjula, that if you are confused, you are absolutely normal. Chill out, land on the campus, and there are programs and there are processes which will make things very clear for you, and you'll have great time there. Then somebody is asking a question which I think, why do companies have a position and a CTC limit? So it's quite simple to understand that the companies have the CTC limit because the companies great colleges. There are tier 1 colleges, there are tier 2 colleges, there are tier 3 colleges. Colleges have got their own cutoffs. Like IMT Hyderabad has a cutoff of 75 in CAT and ZAT and 90 in CMAT, which was not the case in 13-15. That was much less, right? So slowly things are going up, right? So accordingly, the companies also grade campuses and then they take a call because they also would like to go to campuses where they believe, quote unquote, that they're going to get good students. But you are having 3 great examples of what the students have done and what they can do in their life. But because of the grading system, the CTC limit is there. I'm sure in Prakhar's team, he may have students who would be from IIMs and all. They may be working under him. Prakhar?
Yes, sir. There are definitely. And again, don't be very obsessed with starting salaries. See, again, IIM Ahmedabad would be different. Definitely, I won't say that IMT Hyderabad is equivalent to IIM Ahmedabad. But in today's scenario, especially in the last 2-3 years, if you have the skills, companies are ready to pay anything. Trust me, in last year, people have jumped from not just 30% normal increment in their switch. They have taken 80 to 90%, 100% switch. If you have the skill, any company is willing to pay you in today's circumstance. So don't get obsessed with starting salaries. First learn, and probably then thinking about earning all those things.
Okay, Shubham has a question where he says, what are the opportunities that are there for students in the operations management area? So Shubham, this year, operations guys had fantastic opportunities. And I'll just give you a name of few companies. There's a company called Micron. I hope you have heard about this. Micron came and offered consulting role on campus. There's a company based out of Pune. The name of the company is ZS Associates. They are also into consulting role. ITW Signode came hiring students in the area of operations. And Amazon obviously comes to Hyderabad campus. And Amazon hires different kinds of students for different profiles in operations. So there are very good opportunities for students who are specializing in operations. But do not jump to the specialization just because I told you the name of these companies. Do it only if your heart is into it. Like Sanjula was very, very clear कि भाई हमें तो brand marketing ही करना है. And see where she is, right? So develop that particular perspective. Then Likita has been offered IMT DCP. Okay, I think I have to answer this. So Likita's question is, he has been offered IMT DCP. IMT DCP is a program of Ghaziabad where it's called as the Pgdm DCP, dual country program, where you spend some terms in Ghaziabad campus and some terms in Dubai campus. You've been offered IMT Hyderabad. So Likita, if you ask me which is better between IMT DCP and IMT Hyderabad, and I am from the IMT Hyderabad campus, you know my answer, right? So see, these days, though I don't like, I see people having this ROI calculation. That's so very sad, but interestingly, I mean, there are campuses getting ranked on ROI calculation. If you do all those things, I can say a student graduating out of IMT Hyderabad this year had an average package of 9.6, and you paid 12 lakh 3,000 as a fee. This was the same fee which was also paid when Riddhi was on campus. The fee has not changed because IMT Hyderabad does not believe in doing that. So if you take this return on investment into calculation, Likita, and I'm no man to comment on DCP program because this is not the platform to comment on that. I believe you will be making a good decision if you join IMT Hyderabad. But always do the check that Prakhar was talking about through the Facebook groups and all that, because in today's world, nothing can be hidden. Things are all out there in the open. Only thing we have to do is just keep our eyes and ears open.
And you can just browse LinkedIn profiles of IMT Hyderabad alumni. That's the best way to research what everybody is doing.
Yeah.
And everybody, I mean, a lot of people are doing good. Hence, I, made this point.
You know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because there's a question on hostel cleanliness, laundry, ये सब कैसे होता है? तो भाई मुझे पता नहीं है. ये लोग बता सकते हैं कैसे होता है. कैसे होता है? रिधि, आप लोग कैसे मैनेज करते थे? आप लोग खुद वॉश करते थे?
So we had Akka in the hostel who used to come and do the brooming and the cleaning for us. There was no concept of dusting, so there was just brooming. And in terms of clothes and all, we used to wash our own clothes, though our laundry guy also used to come. So that's also an option if you want to avail that. And rest, it was all very clean. So we used to, every floor used to have Akkas who used to help us with the cleaning and all. If there's something which is spillover or all, they were always readily available to help us with that. And every morning they used to wake us up and do the cleaning, and rest is all on your own. And laundry, we did have a person used to come on campus, but now I think the facilities and the reach from the city would have increased so much, the things would have been much more easier. We're talking, I think, 9 years back now.
Yeah.
8 years back, yeah, about 8 years back. And by the way, guys, जो रिधि ने अभी अक्का बोला ना, अक्का is दीदी, तेलुगु में अक्का बोलते हैं.
Yes.
So you may hear Anna, Akka and all. So वैसे campus is like absolutely no concern. Telugu आए ना आए, campus is absolutely vibrant, and a student from one of the batch gave the tag for IMT Hyderabad saying IMT Hyderabad hardly sleeps. Maybe these guys will probably concur to that because of the clubs and committee activities they do. Maybe I'd like to have your views on that later on. So guys, last 10 minutes, let me quickly take some more questions which are there because very interesting questions have come. How is food at IMT Hyderabad? So I think these guys can answer.
I loved it. I loved the message.
And be true. I mean, जो मन में आता है बोलिए. I mean, don't try to कि नहीं बहुत अच्छा था. जैसा आपको लगा वैसा बताओ आप.
No, I'm not trying to be modest on this bit. I loved the food. I don't know about both of them might say yes or no. We used to get non-veg on some special days. Those were my favorite days. In fact, people were cutting lines on those particular days. But the food was great. There were days, some days you would get South Indian, some days, so you would get a mix. But yes, obviously, as normal people, we would get bored of food sometimes from the hostel. So we would go to the airport, as Prakhar said, or we would go to the city once in a while and, eat. And then there was the Suchi Dhaba, right? Like 1 minute walk from the hostel. So I don't see food being a problem. I loved it. I very honestly loved it. In fact, usually at home, I used to eat less. There I came back home a little fatter. My parents were concerned. So I loved it.
Great.
First week तो अच्छा लगता ही है. उसके बाद you get used to it. But of course, it was better than my previous campus. I mean, you can eat. ठीक है, taste तो फिर eventually नहीं आता है after some time. But again, it was not bad, decent, and you have a lot of options. Dhaba is there, Zomato is there now. तो.
But प्रखर, आप लोगों का कुछ मेस कमेटी होता है ना, जिसमें आप लोग मेनू डिसाइड करते हो?
हाँ एक मैच कमिटी था, बट सर अब मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा लाइक हाउ डिड इट ऑपरेट, बट हाँ मैच कमिटी था. So even I think we used to advise, I mean not advise us, recommend to that committee that थोड़ा ऐसा रख लो.
अरे आपके मेस कमेटी के बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट
हम-
मेंबर थे पद्मनाभ उपाध्याय.
जी
हाँ
अच्छा वो पीडी उसी में था. ओके राइट.
yeah.
सो अगर कोई डिश अच्छी बनती थी तो वी यूज्ड टू टेल कि यार ये वाला 2 दिन करवा दो बिकॉज ये अच्छी बन रही है. सो दोज ऑल थिंग्स यू कैन डू.
I remember Wednesday and Thursday paneer मिलता था.
I was just chicken. I was crazy about that day.
Okay, this is an interesting question again from Samarth. So I think this question was answered by Prakhar. He says he has got good 3 months before the classes actually start. So what he's supposed to do? So I think Prakhar did bring this point where he said in the time that you have got with you, I think you guys should get into the habit of reading business newspapers, because this is going to be absolutely important and critical on campus. And you are entering into a program where I'll tell you, I'll just give you 2 very interesting examples. So you are entering a program where the crude oil prices rising in India or falling in India because of the war happening in Ukraine, Russia should be of your interest.
Yes.
अब आप नहीं कह सकते हो कि भाई यूक्रेन लड़ाई हो रहा है हमें क्या करना है. एंड आरबीआई गवर्नर ने सीआरआर कम किया या ज्यादा किया आपको समझ में आना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर ये समझ में नहीं आएगा तो एक प्रोफेसर पांडा है वो आपको क्लास में अलग तरीके से समझाएंगे. सो दिस थिंग्स विल बिकम पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ लाइफ. स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग, स्टार्ट मेकिंग सेंस ऑफ दिस थिंग्स. और उसके बाद भी अगर आपके पास टाइम है तो आई बिलीव MS Excel is something which you have to master.
Yes.
Because that's going to be very, very important as far as your career is concerned. Okay. Anything else you guys would like to suggest?
PowerPoint also, please.
PowerPoint. Okay.
Most of your presentations need to be on PowerPoint. Practice speaking in front of a mirror, because most of it, I'm sorry, but a lot of people have stage fear, you know, when they come to IMT. I experienced this with a lot of my peers, you know. We used to make a group and then 5 people में से 3 बोलते थे यार हम नहीं बोलेंगे तुम बोल दो. काम सबने मिलके किया है बट वो बोल रहे तुम बात कर लो, तुम बता दो वहां पे. सो इफ यू हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अ फियर, प्लीज स्टैंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ अ मिरर एंड प्रैक्टिस टॉकिंग, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, not just for your PGDM but you know in the world ahead as well. If you're not a good speaker, and good speaker does not mean be very fluent in English, no please, it just means putting across your point. If you can do that, and if you think you can't, and there's no problem accepting it, just practice. If you have 3 good months, I think it's a good time.
Okay, so we will take another 3-4 questions and then probably we'll wind up with your final few comments. So there's a question from Likita where she says, can she visit IMT Hyderabad campus? Likita, you are welcome to visit IMT Hyderabad campus. In fact, this year we conducted immersion program also that happened, I think last week. So you are welcome to visit IMT Hyderabad campus. Only thing, just keep the admissions office informed, because the admission team will not be there on Saturday and Sunday. Rest 5 days from morning 9:30 to 6. You want to come and visit the IMT Hyderabad campus, you are most welcome. In case you would like to have a stay back on campus to experience what is campus life, वो भी आप कर सकते हो, लेकिन 10 दिन के बाद खाना नहीं मिलेगा, because the students are going to go for the internship program. So mess will not be functional maybe after that. Okay, I think this question should be answered by Prakhar. This question is from Ravi Nishant. He says he's an operations guy who is working with TCS and has 2+ years of experience. Can he move to an investment banking profile?
See, investment, I read that question also. So investment banking profile, there are 2 things. One is front office, other is back office. After MBA, if you are able to get into an investment banking firm, you will start with the back office first. Eventually you move to the front office, but yes, you have to land up into that particular company, be it Goldman Sachs or something else. Directly applying to an investment banking company is definitely difficult. They experience some sort of a back-end experience first. But doesn't matter whether you're from TCS or not. Post your MBA, if you're doing it in finance, they would expect finance, of course. So you can land up as a back office guy first, not directly as a front end.
Okay. Somebody has a question where he says that he has got less than 60 in undergraduation. Will it impact his placement? I'll answer this. So we get different kinds of companies. There are companies like TCS who come and say we want consistent 60%. You will not be eligible for that placement. But there are companies like maybe cars24.com and others who come to the campus who are not very very clear that they want only 60% consistent marks. You are eligible for those kind of companies. So my point on this will be, जो हो गया, let's not bother about that. 58 है, 60 है, 70 है, जो है वो है. Will it impact? Yes, in some cases, yes. But there in majority of the cases, no. Right? Then Shreya Agarwal says, how many students are eligible to get scholarship? I think I have to answer this. All the girl students, well, that was not the case when these girls were on campus, right? So all the girl students are eligible for Leela Nath Girl Scholarship, female scholarship, because we want to increase gender diversity on campus. Currently, we are around 65, 35, that kind of a thing. We want to make it 40, 60, or maybe 45, 55. Because diversity on campus, I believe, is a very important yardstick for very good management program, right? Probably I'll say this would be the last but one question. Operations roles we have talked about. 2 months. I think this is also done. TCS is done. Okay, what are the hard and soft skills that one has to acquire before joining IMT Hyderabad? Okay. And are we given Hyderabad biryani in mess? This is a very interesting question from Tanumay. So Tanumay, you do get biryani. Whether it's Hyderabadi biryani, if it's getting prepared in Hyderabad, is Hyderabad biryani, right? Hyderabad biryani is famous from two places, Paradise, and there's a restaurant at RTC Crossroad. Paradise has got a joint just 4 kilometers from the campus. जो जब ये लोग थे उस समय नहीं था, और आपको कैंपस में 2 दिन बिरयानी मिलता है. हमारे मेस में बनता है, हम उसको हैदराबाद बिरयानी बोल सकते हैं, right? Okay, so we are done with the questions, guys. So I think we are also done with the time. My parting question to all three of you is, clubs and committees on campus, in addition to academics, what role has this played in shaping up your career, or what kind of value addition has this been to your profile, the role of clubs and committees? Because आपको मैं बता दूं कि अभी और 2-3 नए क्लब बन चुके हैं. एक तसव्वुर करके क्लब बना हुआ है जिसमें गजल वगैरह का वो होता है, आदान प्रदान होता है. तो बहुत सारे क्लब्स कमिटीज हैं, एंड पीपल आर फियर्सली लॉयल अबाउट देयर क्लब्स. मतलब तसव्वुर है तो भाई हमारी क्लब महान है, पहल है तो हमारा क्लब महान है, हम महान काम करते हैं. तो ये क्लब्स एंड कमिटीज का रोल क्या होता है, और आपका सजेशन क्या होगा फॉर स्टूडेंट्स हु आर कमिंग ऑन कैंपस?
I was a part of MRC, that is the Media Relations Committee. I think the club had a major, it's not a club, it's one of the 2 committees on campus, at least at that point. So it had a major role to play in my life, because it gives you the most, sir bolega, you know, everybody is loyal to there, but I feel that it gives you the most exposure outside of the practitioner sessions to meet, you know, such people from outside. Because anything happening on the campus, you're talking to the press about it. You know, you're writing in blogs about it. You are probably marketing it on social media. So a lot of marketing exposure to me came from already being a part of MRC. And honestly, I was doing a job before actually doing a job. I was doing it for IMT Hyderabad. I was promoting my college in a lot of ways. So I feel that for me, it was really helpful. In my first year, I was also a part of Mercatus Mantra. So I feel that that also played a very, very important role, because theory, great, practical in class, great, but this practical is very different. You know, it involves more students to participate in probably an event that you make. For example, bazaar is an event that happens, right? Now it gives you real-time experience of marketing, which normally in class, in a case study, or even in a presentation, you will not get. So that's why the clubs are really important. And secondly, it teaches you bonding. You're very thick with people in your club because you share the same interest. So that prepares you for corporate also. You will be very thick in corporate with people that you think are like-minded. तो यहाँ पे आपको एक platform मिल जाता है कि ये बहुत like-minded people है, ये बिल्कुल वैसा ही सोचते हैं जैसे आप, you think. So that's why I feel clubs are very, very important. And thirdly, lastly, what I feel is that you really should be a part of these clubs, because it gives you an informal and formal platform to interact with your peers much more. Even the peers that probably are in finance, right, which you might not interact a lot with, or are in operations, but because of these clubs, you interact with them. So I feel that these are the 3 reasons that you should definitely be a part of these clubs.
Riddhi?
I was part of two clubs. I was part of Mercatus Mantra. So, like Manjula said, I think
Sanjula.
Sanjula, sorry. So I think so. How it happens, like she was talking about bazaar. So to be honest, these clubs are, you can consider them as a small business kind of a thing. So the agenda of some Mercatus is to conduct a particular activity. So everybody is working together. How are you marketing that particular activity of yours? So it's a small business within the campus which you're trying to market. And like how you, like she was talking about, like-minded people. At the same time, when you go out in the world, you will find people who are not like-minded also. So that conflict management is also what you will learn, which you don't have to do it with aggression, but you have to take it in a different positive way. So that's also something very important that you learn. And second, I was a part of SCOP. So what SCOP taught me was, so that's the placement committee that we have at IMT. So what that taught me, that corporates are coming, how so basically stitching the whole process. So what will it be, who will come first, who will do what, so the whole process before anything is happening or before any event is happening, I learned that out of that it has to be so structured, that everything has to be planned, even if it's somebody coming and attending and addressing you. So that's another thing that I kind of learned from there. So I think it's very important to be a part of all these clubs. You'll interact with a lot of people, you'll interact with other people, seniors, juniors, you'll understand what they've been doing in these clubs before. So it's a different exposure altogether.
Prakhar.
Correct. So I was a part of the MRC committee. So I was taking care for the admissions part, especially the Pagal Guy forum back then when we had. I don't know if it exists right now. And
There.
Oh, it's there. And the second one was the SCOP. So with Riddhi itself, the placement committee. So one thing I found was, when you are a part of such clubs, so you learn how to write, how to pitch, and understand the end-to-end process, because MBA is not just about academics. You have to be a part of some clubs, so that these are the extracurricular things which build up your personality and character. This is important. Secondly, apart from the studies, when you take up these additional responsibilities, you are able to, you start getting into that zone where you manage things, you manage time. That helps when you enter the corporate world, because in the college, you have been speaking to a lot of people, you know how to speak, you know how to pitch, you know how to write. That helps when you start your corporate career. So that is why I would really recommend, be a part of at least one club.
And I think, Prakhar, you did a fantastic job in Pagal Guy, because you see, thanks to your input, we have a great maverick, not Pagal, but maverick marketing guy with us, who joined because of the inputs. संजुला ने आपके inputs वगैरह देखे होंगे, फिर आपके बाद आपके बैच में join किया उन्होंने, right? So I mean, this discussion, this interaction with you guys can just go on and on, but we have to stop somewhere. It has been an absolute pleasure doing this interaction. But before I thank you all, I would probably ask Riddhi if she's okay with it. Can we say a quick hello to Deep?
Sorry, he's not around. He's on daddy duty right now. So
Okay.
either of us have to be around. Otherwise, I would have loved to have him around also and say hi to you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Fine. I can understand because you have a baby and somebody has to take that care. So good. He's doing a great job. So thank you guys. And it has been an absolute pleasure interacting with all three of you. By the way, I just remember somebody was talking about FMCG companies. This year we had Marico on campus. I forgot to talk about that. याद नहीं है मुझे. And that was, they came on campus and they had also come for the internship hiring. Last year Nivea had come. This year Marico came. And they, I think, hired two people.
Can we come on campus back?
I was just going to say, can come back.
You can come on campus, but in a different role. So thank you, Prakhar, thank you, Riddhi, and thank you, Sanjula, for joining this session at a very short notice. I can understand the importance of your Saturday, especially for Riddhi being a young mother, and you guys have taken time 1.5 hours and being part of the interaction. But I'm sure your views, your thoughts would be absolutely important for these students to take a call and help them in taking a very informed decision. I have enjoyed this interaction, and I'm sure the students should have benefited a lot, right? And so we will certainly meet somewhere sometime. Keep doing well. God bless all three of you, and all the best, guys.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure
Right.
meeting. Thank you.
Same here. So thank you, Karthik. I think we are done. Probably we'll close it now, right? So we can ask our alumni to log off now, right? Okay. Thanks, Riddhi, and see you, Prakhar.
Thank you,
sir.
Bye.
So let me thank all the participants who have joined the session. I appreciate the fact that you guys have joined. This is a very good indication that you are interested in taking a very sound decision and a very informed decision. I hope this interaction has played a role in facilitating that, right? So guys, thank you and all the best. Enjoy your Ugadi or Gudi Padwa or whichever festival you're enjoying, and have a great weekend.